Natasha and this is a Babi Active session. It's happening now, live, here on the Babi Active Facebook page. I'm going to try and check in onto the laptop and see if I can see anything happening on there. And if you are watching this on replay, thank you so much for coming along. We're going to go straight into our session today. It's going to be a very slow session with a lot of focus on your breath. So you've got plenty of time to really concentrate, become very conscious, very aware of the way that you move and the way that you breathe, with a particular emphasis on healing the weakened muscles along the linea alba. So working on, we have abdominal wall, we have like 2 sets of muscle that run down, or I run down here like this, and then during pregnancy these muscles open because they're designed to do so, like that. They get stretched a bit like that, and then they get, of course, a little bit weaker. Same way that when you blow a balloon up, that gets weaker, and then when you let the air out, it has a memory of how it was stretched, and that's why it doesn't look the way it did when it was a brand new balloon. It's a little bit like that. That's how body responds to the pregnancy. And of course, depending on your age, depending on if it's your first pregnancy or consecutive pregnancy, or depending on your lifestyle choices, the way you heal is different for everybody. So we're going to look at that. So we're going to look at the breathing, we're going to look at some exercises. They're going to be on the floor, some of them seated. And what you're going to need today is, if you haven't got one of these, I'm actually not going to use one of these balls, these soft balls. I'm not going to use one of these for the exercises, but that's what I would normally use in a session with mums. But because we're at home, I'm going to attempt to use one of these. I've had a practice, I've got a pillow. So grab yourself a pillow and have a little roll of it like that. So just try and roll it like that into shapes that feel a little bit more like a bolster. If you do yoga, you might have like a bolster you could lean on like that. That will work. And I bought a couple of pillows just to muck around with, to try for myself, so you might catch me playing around with them, trying to create a similar effect. Cushion, pillow, do stretchy material. So I'm going to use my lightest band, but you can also use anything that's long, like a scarf. And I'll try and get you to focus a little bit on some tension through that. So it doesn't have to be a specific brand of material or anything. Leggings would do, thick tenure tights do. So you've got a couple of minutes to grab yourself what you need. Have a drink of water with you as ready. Please don't participate unless you're 100% fit and well today as you're watching it. If you're watching on replay, can you do a little comment and just do that little hashtag replay, or could you just give me a little emoji of love, or could you just write done or anything like that in the comments, so that we know that you're following this on replay, because that's really, really useful for us. And if you're watching live, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're watching on the website, same again. If you can get onto the video and click on it, give us a little feedback, give us a little thumbs up. Let us know that you've watched it on replay. We would love to know what you think. We would just love to know that you've watched it and enjoyed it. So yes, please don't join in unless you're 100% fit and well. This is specifically designed for 6 weeks, for ladies 6 weeks after the birth of their baby, after a vaginal delivery, or 12 weeks after cesarean section and not before. You need to be fully healed to enjoy this. And even if you haven't got any concerns about abdominal separation, you're still going to find this really useful, because you're going to be able to coordinate your movement a little bit more wisely. It involves as well using a little bit of finger touch along yourself. So I'm just going to go over there, check again to see if we are live on the laptop view, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, one last check here, get all that technical stuff out of the way. Oh, there saw it popped up there. Yep, it says live. And on this view, this is my personal view, it looks as if 3 people are watching. So if you're watching, I can see that you're watching on here. My camera is in reverse over there. I would love to know who you are. I'm going to attempt to click on it. Got 4 people watching. Good morning. We're going to start off seated. You can bring your stretching material with you. And we'll start off with just exercise to concentrate on your breathing. So if you've got stretching material, have it ready. If you're watching, give me a little wave. And I can't really see if you've given me a little wave just there, so I'll have to come back round and say hi. So take your material with you and just find some shoulder rolls. Bring a sense of, okay, I've arrived. Baby's good, toddlers are good, dogs are good. Focus a little bit on yourself here. You can do 20 minutes of this session and it will be hugely effective. If you've got time, if you're watching on replay, you can just start whenever you need to. So just roll the shoulders. And I've set myself up really wide at the base of support. If that doesn't feel good to you in your hips, your lower back, bring your legs together. I'm going to do one more. Okay, I'm going to bring my feet really close together. I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to almost kiss my feet together. And I'm going to feel them on the floor. Okay, and notice how that affects my knees, my hips. If that doesn't feel comfortable, open them wide. Just does challenge balance a little bit. So let's use our arms this time. So up and down. Let's do 4 more. And just let your belly soften here. Kind of let all your muscles become really soft, like your yoga belly. Yoga belly is in comparison to Pilates, is like a soft belly. Unless you're doing the work of switching your banders on, of course. So soften. Notice your buttocks relax now. Can you relax your buttocks? Can you let go there? Can you let go pelvic floor? And just feel everything soften. Just breathe. Full breath in. It's a very hot day, so we're not doing that huge cardio effort or anything like that. You will feel hotter though. Take your legs to hip width without looking down if you can. So where you think your base of support feels solid, take that position. And then just rock forwards and backwards on the heels. Thank you for watching, whoever's watching. I can't see who you are on my phone, but I know I feel good because you're here, so well done. Rock forwards and backwards. I've now started lifting off my toes off the floor, so I'm pretty sure you can see them, but I'll step back just in case you can't. And what I'm going to get you to do as well is put your hand on your tummy and then just feel as you come up onto your toes. You need to press quite firmly to get underneath layers. So we all have like layers of fat, don't we? Visceral fat. So we have a natural body fat, don't we? And we want to feel underneath it. So poke yourself somewhere and feel if you can feel the muscles coming on. As you come up onto your toes, can you feel anything anywhere along your abdomen wall? Where? Can you feel something there, something here? And just become aware of that. Last one, still breathing normally. Fabulous. And then just raise your toes off the earth. See if you can just wiggle your knees, soften, loosen your hips, then become tall, like the mountain pose in yoga, and then raise your toes off the earth. We're going to coordinate that with some pelvic floor action. So if you're a complete beginner today, that might sound very confusing. So I'm sure if you've had a baby, you've been spoken to about managing pelvic floor, at least briefly. So I would advise you look back through the beginning of our video series. We've got over 50 videos now, I think, on the Babi Active page. If you come back to my sessions, you go back to Tuesday sessions in particular, or the 6-week sessions, to 6-month sessions, you'll find lots of talk about pelvic floor. But for today, I want you to think about just lifting up into the vagina and then dropping down to the earth for today as you lift your toes. So let's coordinate that. Can we do that? So becoming very aware of pelvic floor. Lift up and down. Up with the toes, up with the pelvic floor, lower down. We'll do 2 more. We're just going to go slowly as we can. So lift up, drop it down, 2, 3. Toes come down to the earth. So lift up sharply, drop down for 3. Last time, have a go. Lift, drop it down. 1, 2, 3. So just drawing your attention into the pelvic floor area. Okay, now what I want you to do is really squeeze your buttocks as tight as you can. And I tend to make fists because it draws my attention to making fists. in the actual buttocks, like feeling the muscles work. So I want you to grab your band or your stretchy material, roll your shoulders back into your sockets and become aware that you haven't got a locked position on the knees. And then as you squeeze your buttocks, I want you to pull the band apart. We're going to do 4. And I'm still not using the Pilates breath, but it's affecting my breath, so it could be affecting yours. So 3, squeeze the buttocks and release. You may feel lots of other things happening, that's what I want. 4. I'm feeling like all across the front of my body was getting involved. So now relax the buttocks completely, relax the pelvic floor completely, and just take your band, take a big breath in and fill up your lungs. Breathing in, let's do 3. And out. And again. Fill up your lungs as wide as you can. And relax. Let's have a squat. With or without the band. You can do this with thin air, remember? Good. Now take your breath with you. Breathing in, breathing out. We're not doing the Pilates breath, we're just beginner's breath. Just becoming aware. And what you to do is talk about your posture here. So remember that tail we've got attached to our coccyx. I want you to stick it up behind you and then push it through between your legs. So if you've worked with me before, you know that I'm kind of pretending to be a bit of a gorilla here. As I go down, my heels are on the earth. But if you find you go down, your heels start to come up. I don't want you to go all the way down. I want you to stay on top of the movement to the point where your heels are attached to the floor. So I don't want you to go all the way down and come into this movement with the heels off the floor. Let's do 4. Stick your tailbone back, emphasise, push forward through the pelvis. In through the nose, maybe out through the mouth. Stick that tail feather out. Push. Feet are flat on the floor the whole time. Last one. Fabulous. Excellent. All right, well done. You're still watching, well done. I was just checking in with some messages. Let's try your balance this morning. Take a knee lift and put it down. Try the other side. What I'm trying to do is try not to lean like the leaning tower of Pisa. Is it called pizza or Pisa? I always wonder. Comment below. Pronunciation, any Italians watching? So with the band, if you like it, lift. You can take the band as tall as you like. Same as your knee. If you're quite steady on your feet, you might be watching this and you may be well rehearsed with movement, mindful movement, you might be fanatical about fitness. So just judge it to where you feel most benefit today. Okay, so I'm going to take a much lower option, so you can see, and I'm trying to stand as strong as I can on the opposite leg and coordinate this good posture here. So take yourself where you want to go, but mindfully. And notice you're breathing again. Are you getting warmer here? Are you holding on to breath? So we're going to do a few more. Take what you need. Try to keep your gaze forward. You don't need to look at the floor. And you should be a little bit wobbly somewhere, like me. Everything working. If you like taking your arms further up, you're going to really work into your shoulders. Start to work in. Leave this out if there's any discomfort in the neck, your chest, anywhere. I'm going to do 4 more. Choose your focus. I'm breathing in there, breathing out here. We've worked on this move with the band over and over. Nearly every one of my sessions we do this. Good, and relax. Take your legs really wide and just do a little sway. A little bit of a wiggle if you like. A little shimmy. Do something that feels good. You've got your, oh, I've got my lovely money plants here. And I'm going to catch you. I'm so sorry. Could you just move back just a touch? I love you. So I don't want to Don't want to destroy my beautiful money plants. So side to side, point that toe. If you've got your material, take it with you. But do something that feels like really good and that loosens you up across the chest, shoulders. So I'll have a quick sneak peek at you now behind the camera and see, I haven't got any messages. Can you give me the message? Let me know who you are. Just say your name. Give me a little wave. Stay in here. Does that feel good? We've done a little bit of a warm up. And we've worked. You should be able to feel the difference here in your posture now. So add a little bend. Take your arm side to side. If you've got stretchy material, pull it. And feel your chest open here. Shoulder comes back. Don't worry about the coordination. Just do what feels good. You can go forward and back in your place if you've got lots of room. We've worked a little bit on our balance. We've done some shoulder mobilising. A little bit of knee and hip. We're going to concentrate on our bodies going down to the floor shortly. And bring your feet together. All right, so what I'd like to do, check my notes with you. Check on my time. We're going to work on a side bend. I'm going to do it standing, then I'm going to go down to the floor. I'm going to do it on our knees if you want to, or sitting on your bottom. Okay, it's up to you. So what you can do with a band is stand on it. So if you've got a really long band like this is about 2 metre long band. I'm going to show you. If you've got dumbbells in your workout space, you can also do this with the dumbbells. So what I'm doing is putting the thumb on top, like that, rolling my shoulders back, and then I'm using, can you see the length of the band? It's actually what's happening to our muscles across the side of the body. Is they're getting long there and short there. And this is, of course, working on the obliques, part of your core system. So if you've got the band, use the band. If you haven't, and you've got some dumbbells, you can use them. You can use thin air. These are really light dumbbells, they're 1.5. So side bend, if you're used to it, you know the score with these. You can just use heavy books. I'm just going to do one set of 16, but I'm going to use thin air. So join me for that. Lucky doll. Alright, so stand it up tall. Check your foot placement this time so you can feel your base of support where you feel strong again. And what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the Pilates breath a little bit more. So for the first 3 breaths, we'll revise this to touch where you think your lowest rib cage, rib bone is, quite low. Touch your pelvis, so you're here, onto where you're feeling your hip bones. Really poke around them and you'll find out that your rib is like there, the last rib. Mine's about there. Some of you will be there. You know, everyone's different. Feel it, please. Round the back, round the front. Find the last one. A bit tickly. Find the hip. And then what I want you to do is breathe in so you feel the rib cage expand. And I want you to see if you can stop this bit, breathing in and doing the yoga belly breath. So as you breathe in, quick demo. So as you breathe in, you don't want to be squeezing out air. If that's your navel, you don't want to be breathing in and then filling up that bit. You want to be breathing in, so you're pulling the tummy muscles. The tummy muscles are staying unmovable. Bad position for your viewing. And you're expanding into the rib cage. And as you breathe out, instead of breathing that bit, the belly button out again, then it's not coming out. It's not coming out away from your spine. It's coming even further into almost like a scoop. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's better visual with the balloon, if you can imagine a balloon. So let's just do 3. Drop your shoulders, feel your foot flat on the floor, lengthen your spine, move your hips around so you can find that lovely neutral position that's familiar to you. And then inhale. And then exhale. Inhale. So I'm trying not to rise here. I'm trying to expand into this lateral breathing, and then exhale. And drawing towards my midline. Last one. feel like you're zipping and tucking. I'm not going to spend too much time on that, so I know a lot of you have done it before. Please feel free to ask questions about that. Let me know how you're getting on with it. Should it make you feel dizzy? And we do short sets of things. I'm going to do 16 of these, but you can stop any time. And I don't need to wait because I'm checking my midline. Sorry, forgot. I want to use them, but I want to check my midline and I can't really. Both hands, roll your shoulders. So here, breathing in, choose a side. Breathing in, breathing out. Oh, got a big wasp in the room. Breathing in, breathing out. You might hear me scream in a minute. Is it a bumblebee or just a fly? I think it might be a fly. Sorry about that. It's alive. This is 4. Now what I'm trying to do is, again, feel that there's no bulging across my midline, which is where my gap is. So this is 5. Breathing in. So I have to really contract my transverse abdominals. I can really feel this pulling in my back, which is doing a lot of work to support me. 6. 7. Now you don't have to bend too deep to feel these muscles work. Take your head with you if it feels good. If it doesn't feel good on the neck and shoulders, just try and keep your gaze directly forward. So remember, you've got your dumbbells, you're going to be pulling a bit deeper. So I'm going to do 4 more, and I'm really concentrating on keeping these muscles back and zipped in. So I'm expanding there, and then scooping towards this line. I can really feel that deeply working. 2 more. You don't have to do a big shh, but it can help you. You can actually feel deeper if some people do the shh. Last one. Excellent. Fabulous. I like to come out of these exercises with a blur, as in I just let my belly roll, kind of hang out, hang out. And then what I want to do is this ragdoll. I call it ragdoll. You know this one? If you know me, you know this one. I'm trained to teach Tai Chi movements for wellbeing, qualified. And I'm trained to teach yoga movements. And these movements, this movement comes from yoga, take your legs wide, it comes from Tai Chi. Open it a little bit wider and let your arms twist with you here. This is mobilising the spine. We're going down onto the floor, so you can join me in a Pilates roll down, or you can just flop onto the floor. Again, if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that there's a lovely way to come down to the floor, which is a lunge. So you'll be lunging down to the floor and then coming down. So try that one. Otherwise, join me for 5. Should we do 5? No, let's do 3. 3. Slow Pilates rolls down. And what you'll find is on the 3rd one, you'll end up coming to the floor. And you'll find that you've loosened up just doing the 3rd one. All right? So stand tall. Join me, mind the chandelier. Down. Chin to chest. Have some soften knee. Soften knee. And then just allow your arms to fall away from your body. I'm just a bit closer to you. As if they were spaghetti. So they're not doing anything with your arms. And immediately I can feel my tightness, my sweet spot. Take a breath. Try and exhale, come up. And the muscles are drawing towards the spine there. You're not hanging around. The muscles aren't on holiday. I think bandhas in yoga, they're on. The muscles are on. Because you've asked them to come on. And then roll around at the top here for your shoulder roll. Roll around at the top. 2nd time I've used that in an odd way this morning. Roll around. Roll the shoulders. Come down, chin to chest. My knees aren't locked out. But if you're more confident, you're quite flexible in the hamstrings, you can of course leave them a little bit straighter. I'm really getting this move, this loosening. Definitely in the sacrum for me today. Where is it for you? Feeling it rising, kind of like radiating up my mid-back on the return. Watch your blood flow on that. Remember, it's important that you keep breathing. If you're like me with low BP, you can feel dizzy. Please just relax. So I'm doing this last one, but I'm going to go to the floor. So if you're like me again, you're starting to go a bit deeper. You just feel that you yourself, within yourself, you should have got a bit further on the second bend. You're feeling looser. So this is the beginning of our walkout. So what I do is bend your knees slowly, animal-like, press your hands into the earth, drop your knees onto the floor here, and then just roll your shoulders. See if you can roll your shoulders. Find a knee placement. Doesn't have to be too wide, doesn't have to be too narrow. We're not looking for perfection, we're looking for you to just feel your way through. Try and lengthen the spine somehow. Feel that there's a length there. You'll feel it when you get to the right position. Let's do a couple of shoulder rolls. If the shoulder rolls are feeling really uncomfortable there, and you can sit on your ankles, just do them here. And look for that length in the spine. So drop your shoulders down into their sockets. Rotate your wrists. If you're not comfortable on your wrists, you know what to do. You go onto fists, or you take your position like that. All right, let's just stay here. We're going to do our side bends on our knees next, but for now, we're just going to lift our knees off the floor in a hover. So this is the Pilates breath. Inhale. Toes are tucked under if you like to feel more supported, otherwise you're here. I'd feel better like that. Exhale, lift. I'm going to do 10. We've been doing numbers up to 10. So if this isn't feeling too comfortable for you, just do 2 or 4 or 6. Okay, we're only holding on for the breath. We're doing exhale and we're holding on. As in exhaling and lifting ourselves off the floor. It's about the height of that, you know, like an inch off the floor. So if you notice my hips, they're not really coming up high. So I'm sort of there. Yeah, think about that. Ready? Take as much time as you need, or child's pose in between, please. Anytime. You don't have to do 10. If you're just fresh having a baby and this is week 1 of this is your first exercise session, can you just try and do 2, see how you feel, and then just rest. Take a little stretch. I'll join you in a minute for the side bends. Breathing in. 1. Try and keep the body still. Rotate shoulders back. 2. Keeping everything steady. 3. So as you lift off, your tummy muscles contract deeper towards the spine. You're inhaling into the rib cage, remember? This doesn't look like there's much movement on my spine if you look. And my arms are strong. They're not locked out, but they're strong. I think that was 4 or 5, so I'm going to imagine it was 5. This is 6. Stop when you've had enough. Go into child's pose if you know it, or cat-cow if you're familiar. Rest your belly. 4 more. Might be 3 more. Take what you need. Neck is long. Keep your upper body positioned identical if you can. That's 1. And rest. Child's pose is great here. Got a pillow? Got a cushion? Have a rest. Open your legs wide to meet you. You don't have to sit your bottom onto your heels. Have a rest. Naturally, you might feel you want to roll your wrists. And don't forget, you can always roll the mat up under your knees for the next section. Or you can put a cushion under your knees if you've got a cushion. So onto your knees for side bends. Are you still with me? If you are, give me a little shout. Got a drink of water. Rotate here, coming onto our knees for side bends. Natalie, hello! Hi Natalie! Thanks for joining us. So here, I'm on my knees, but you can do this on the yoga mat, can't you? So check in with your knees. If it doesn't feel good, roll something up underneath them. Side bend. Did you like it with the band? Because you could use the band again. Obviously it's shorter here. If you've got your toes tucked under, it's going to give you a bit more support and feel solid, as if your feet are like little stabilisers. So if you feel quite steady, let your feet become flat there, like that, sort of like that. Roll your shoulders. Side bend. Should we do it? We did 8 before. Do you want to do it again? Do you like the dumbbells? Do you want to take the dumbbells? Do you feel good here? Roll the shoulders. Feel your posture. I'm going to use thin air. So breathing in, trying to feel the muscles. I'm just going to go to the other side. You could of course go to the same side for 8. That's 2. Try not to rush. Feel your mind sometimes says, oh, hurry up, if we do more repetitions we'll get more benefit. Not at this stage. Not when you're learning to do things with great consciousness. Let's just get some control in the movement, use these restorative practices, and then we can use your other sessions for high reps or low reps or rep targets. Let's make these ones quality. I think this is 6. Drop my shoulders. So I'm going to do 6 more. That's not 6 more, is it? 2 more. No, it's not. 7. 8. Now I'm going to do 8 more. So 8 set of 16, 8 each side. I've added in some weight. I'm trusting that I've really got that hooked back, so I can feel there's no bulging. Working really hard to pull those muscles back. Now I'm going to do 4 more. Check my posture. Just keep moving. Don't worry about the music. Don't worry about coordination. It's not a choreographed session. If you're watching on replay, thank you so much. Replay viewers, you can stop and start whenever you want, and you can repeat this. You can repeat this all over again. So you can do 2 sets. It's really going to target those deep core muscles. This is lateral flexion. Last one here. It's great for when you're digging around in the car and you can't find something inside the car. All right, roll your shoulders. Let's do 4 more. You can bend and come up. If you're on your knees, if it feels good, if it doesn't, please stop. Push the hips. Do the tummy muscles working. Last one. Excellent. So we've done 2 sets of side bends, and now we're going to work on a twist. The twist is a strong movement, and it really is telling again on your linear alba. So for me personally, I prefer to sit on a cushion. So I tend to prop myself up on the floor whenever I'm on the floor with the kids. You know, if you've got I'm sure you've got what I call a baby den in your house with your toddlers or your babies. So what I would do is not just have stuff for them there, but I would also put your go-to couple of cushions there, so that when you do get there, you can pop them under your knee when you're crawling, tidying up, when you're tired, or you can sit yourself on a cushion when you're playing with them. This is much kinder on your hips, particularly if you're really tight here, which most humans are. So I top tip. Here, you have a choice of working with your legs closed like this, and if you can't really cross your legs, it doesn't feel really good because of concerning your hips and your pelvis during pregnancy. You could take your legs out and do exactly the same. You can also do this on a chair. What I'd like you to do is find your seat bones. Don't forget your sitting bones, rock from side to side. And Natalie, you remember all of this from our prep before during pregnancy class. And you'll find your little ischium underneath the pelvis. You literally can feel them rocking. Well, you're rocking on them. Rocking out with the pelvis. And this is genitalia. Hard bone there. Okay, so find it and try and sit on it. And what that means is that instead of sitting like that, that's an exaggeration, you sit like that, and that really lines up the muscle, doesn't it, along the front. Alright, you can also bend your legs a bit here. Don't be too concerned about how you're feeling with trying to hold yourself up. It is a challenge trying to sit up straight. So for me, I think I'm going to join you like that today. You can do it cross-legged if you wish. Find a position that you can do sitting comfortably, and then just twist. So lift up, imagine that, kind of pull yourself up by almost like the scruff of the neck, and lift, and you'll feel that you have to do some work here, and that in itself is a lot of work. So seated twist, take the time to palpate along your midline here. Does that feel like there's a bulge somewhere, or does it feel strong? Come back to the other side. Try it there. Drop your shoulders. So what you're going to notice is as we repeat this movement, So what I'm going to do is take a breath in, and then I'm going to rotate. I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to rotate. If you already know the Pilates movement called the saw, and you've joined me, and your baby is a year or 6 months, and you already know your Pilates movements, you can take your breath that way, which will give you an aspect of a hamstring stretch as well, and the forward flexion, which puts more pressure on your midline. So your out breath is here. You're aiming for this pinky toe to meet this pinky finger. And if you sit up, you're on top. If you know that and looks familiar, please do that. Otherwise, you can put your hands on, exhale to twist, or you can come with me and exhale to twist and have a feel around. Okay, we're going to do 8 each side. When you use the Pilates breath, keep trying to sit up and correct yourself so that you feel long in the spine. Stop anytime you want to. Okay, roll the shoulders, lift the spine, pick a side. We're going to go to this side. So breathing in, exhale, twist. Breathing in, twist. Breathing in, twist. Breathing in, lengthen through the spine here. Halo on the head, twist. My halo just fell off, I've got to put it back on. This is feeling really easy, you like it, no concerns on the midline. Point your toes up to the sky. Keep the shoulders down. So I'm going to do 6 more. You tell me if I've missed a number. You're a numbers person, sometimes you get an accountant on. Alright, you missed the number. Concentrating deeply, drawing, scooping out on that out breath. Really feeling it in the hip flexors now, so they're really forcing to keep me up. I feel that I'm tired after having a holiday and not doing this for a while. And relax. If you like, bring your legs together. If it feels good, drop yourself forwards. If you've got no concerns there, you can do a forward flexion, so you're not bulging through the gap, forward flexion. Otherwise, you can just bring your legs in together, and you can put your feet here, and you can stay up and give yourself a little bit of a movement into the hips here if it feels good. Excellent. I'm going to have a lovely little bit of water, and I want to work on some preparation for your crunches. So I'm going to go through these options really focused way, in a really focused way with you. So what you'll need is lots of space to stretch your legs out. So I'm going to take this back, and then what I want you to do is lie yourself down on the floor. But position me so you can hear me and see me clearly. We're going to work on the traditional crunches and like sit-up prep. So depending if you're a complete beginner, if you're healed, if you're advanced, you're watching on replay, or if depending on your different positions. So what I want you to do is everybody lie down first. If you've just had a baby, you come down just as you did when you were pregnant, so you would be on the side of your body. I'll take this with me so I can see what it looked like on the view. And then if you like a pillow, you've got one. So my neck is going to be flat on the floor. I don't necessarily need a pillow to have my neck flat on the floor, so I don't have any concerns there. But what I do want you to do is bring your feet so that you're not going to kick anything over like me. And slide your leg down. So as you're doing that, just slide the legs down. Keep your head on the floor. Hopefully you can see me there. Yeah, you can. That's very funny, watching myself on there. Didn't realise that you could see the iron board that it's on, so apologies about that. So here, taking yourself through with your leg. Try that position for me and see if your tummy muscles are staying flat, please. Let's put the music back on. There you are. So see if you can put your legs out like that. Sorry about that. Musical hitch. Technical hitch with the music. It's going off on its own. There we are. So here, feel your leg pulling away from you through your tummy. Slide it along the floor, but try for complete beginners, keep your heel connected to the floor. Just feel that. You can use a Pilates breath if you want to. You can feel the natural curve on your spine. You're not trying to force your back into the mat, just feel it. And then what I want you to do is think about lifting your head up and noticing whether or not you've got any pressure along that midline. So here, as you lift your head up, is there any bulging? Intra-abdominal pressure as you lift. So take the leg and slide it and lift. So if you have got any immediate bulging anywhere from the pubic bone to here, the xiphoid process, you're going to know about it from this. So palpate along your midline, please. And add in flexion. You can use your head with support. Remember, your brain or your head weighs between 5 and 7 kilos, so support your neck there. Fabulous. So I'm going to do 10 more. You can keep both feet on the floor if that feels better, and just work here. Just feel it again. 7. So you're scooping your tummy muscles back to the spine here. Keep your elbow as wide as you can and just try and almost skim your shoulders off the floor. Apologise for the ironing board view, everybody, today. 5. No bulging there for me. If you're bulging, you just want to practice pulling the tummy muscles down like we did in the Pilates breath. 4. Stop if you've done your 10. I'm going to do one more. Excellent. I'm going to roll over to the side. I hope you can feel that. And once again, I'm sorry about the position of the ironing board in the view today. Can't see it on this view. You can only see it when you're when you open up the view. So what I want you to do is think about your neck there. So if you're lying on the floor, just look side to side to ease off your neck. Just let your neck relax. And what we're going to do is bring yourself up to sitting. So you need to roll to the side and then come back up to sitting for me. So we're going to do another exercise, and this is the one we're going to use the cushion or a pillow. So I was trying to force a little position into kind of like that, so I can sit behind it. So I've been practicing a different cushion to see what it feels like. And what we're doing is trying to sit up in this position. So you can still see me, I'm sure you can still see me, even though the weird ironing board is there. So if you can try different positions so you can get to the one that you like. If you have the bendable behind you, for those who've got one, you're just going to sit like that with it. And as soon as you sit like that, depending on the fabric of your material, you've got support at the sacrum. You remember this if you've done this with me before. And even just sitting there like that, you can feel the tummy muscles doing something. They're on. And then we're going to come back and forward. So for a complete beginner, just sitting up here is enough. And lifting the chest, and then sinking, and then lifting the chest. So at week 6, I would have you just see if you can even sit here. And if you've got any bulging, I want you to go back onto the floor and do the leg slide again. And notice again along the midline, did you feel any bulging? So you can do 8 each leg. And if you can't really fathom the focus of the Pilates breath today, because it's a lot of information, just focus on the leg slide and perhaps breathing out, coordinated with the movement. It doesn't matter if it's either on the way out or the way in, but try and coordinate it and see what happens along your midline. So if you've got a ball, use one. And I'm going to use my hands. Hands here is more supportive, and that's easier, okay? So for those of you got like me a cushion, here we go. So I roll that up. So I want to feel what you're feeling. straight away I'm in the same position, almost the same as with the ball. Yeah? Draw your shoulder blades back down. So you're going to inhale and then exhale. So sorry, it's inhale back, exhale forward. Inhale back, forward. Now we're on the sitting bones, so just adjust. Let's do 6 short sets. Check that area. 2 hands is easier. Use those hands. Try not to get soggy in the middle. 3. Deep focus, ladies. And then rest. Rest your knees on the floor. If you like to sit in the mermaid position, sit in the mermaid position. If this doesn't feel right for you, bring your legs out into that staff pose we had before. Mind your equipment. Lift the chest. Rotate here. Rotate here. Again, if you feel that you're aware there and you felt that you had any concerns, just notice that you've got control of that area. One more time. I was just doing that with a regular breath. I'm going to go back down. I'm going to repeat a set of 6. If you're on replay, you could do 4 sets of 6. If you're at the 6-month stage, or you're way out of your 4th trimester and you're very controlled, or you've got excellent Pilates background, work on recreating the principles of precision and control. Work with the breath. Otherwise, take the easiest option with the leg slide on the floor today, and you don't even have to lift your head. Here we go. Let's do 6. Get your session ready. Thank you for watching if you've been watching all this time. And thank you for watching on replay. We're nearly there. Back, inhale. Lift. Inhale. Lift. Now the extension for me is pretty taxing on my separation. So we really have to work hard on that. Otherwise there's a definite bulge. These muscles get weaker and weaker over time if you don't restore them, if you don't use them. You lose them. Especially when you're coughing and straining to go to the toilet. Or if you're sitting on the toilet for quite a long time, your muscles have to push in that area. That causes intra-abdominal pressure. Those muscles get weak, and then you start getting weaker and weaker. And of course that feeds back into your pelvic health, into your back health. So I've taken my legs into mermaid. I hope you felt some work there. I hope you've really drawn attention to your movements. I'm going to add in, don't forget you can sit with your bottom, you can sit on your bottom with your legs wide if you like. I'm going to take my arms into this movement now. Lift the chest. Lift the chest. We're finishing off. We're going to do the last little exercise on our back. It's called a single leg stretch. So roll back down onto the floor, as comfortable as you can. And again, I apologise for that view. Probably change it now. So here I am. And then what I want you to do is bring your head onto the floor, take one knee up slowly, and then take the other leg up, and then drop it down. So feel how your muscles are responding. If you're already here, you can come up, you can hold your head up without assistance. You might be able to tap easily, but no problem if you need a hand. But look again for that doming, pubic bone, particularly where you know there's a weakness. Feel it along with you, if you know, okay, if I'm not holding my transverse abdominals on to control these muscles down, they'll just start having a little pinnacle along this line. So take what you need. If you're stronger, take the leg extension. As long as it doesn't affect you with the bulge. That might be enough today. If you're stronger, mind your drink. Do what you need to do. I'm going to take the easiest option, really work on this upper rectus abdominis here. And I'm going to do just 6, lift my head off the floor, and then change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and rest. Rock side to side, you are done today. Massive apologies for your viewing with the interesting view of my ironing board there. It's a new setup and it needs to come forward, and I hadn't seen it on the view of the live. It doesn't look like that on the screen when you're filming, I can assure you. These are called the swish swish. Call it anything you like. Knee side to side, I call it swish swish. And then just rest here for a moment. Take your arms up. Take them above your head and then let them flop into the earth. If you like to bring your knees together if that feels more comfortable, or just bring your feet to as they wish on the floor. If your arms and shoulders are already feeling like just a little bit uncomfortable, maybe you can't get your elbows on the floor, maybe it just feels too much of a pull in your lower back, this is easier. Bring your hands onto your tummy. Take a breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, and we're just going to witness the belly rising and falling. So we're going to do this 5 times. So it's the opposite of the Pilates breath because there's a rise and fall. Become aware of the chin, placement of your chin length and the back of your neck. And if you know you've got 3, 4, 5 minutes here to spend, or you can press pause and get yourself more comfortable, you could do this with something over your eyes, she says. So you could put a sock over your eyes, scarf or something. 5 breaths. Witnessing the abdomen rising and falling. Think about your child, think about your baby, your children. When they rest, their bellies rise and fall. It's the correct way to breathe, naturally. It's not to exercise breath. Manual handling breath, Pilates breath, lateral breathing. I want you to become aware of your pelvic floor. What's it doing as you breathe in? What it should be doing is relaxing and then contracting as the air comes out of your body. So do another 5 breaths, breathing in through the nose. Belly rises, pelvic floor. It pushes down slightly, and then as you breathe out, tummy muscles come back to your midline, and the pelvic floor comes in. So you're breathing. And then rolling over onto your side. Spend a few moments there. You don't have to rush straight up like me. Prop yourself onto your cushion once you've risen to a seated position. And if you like that cross-legged pose, stay with it. If you've got your cushions with you, pop your cushions under your knees. If you haven't, make yourself super comfortable. We won't be here long. We'll do the 5 breaths again. We're going to witness the breath, part of our relaxation today. And what we're going to do is concentrate on noticing that as you breathe in, you're filling the air in your body up. So your muscles in your tummy are coming forward, as we've just done on the floor, and the muscles in your pelvic floor are coming down. And then as you breathe in, the muscles on the pelvic floor naturally contract. And the muscles in the tummy, that's quite difficult to demonstrate with 2 hands. It kind of comes up. Tummy muscles come out and the pelvic floor goes down, and then as you breathe out, the muscles on the tummy come back and your pelvic floor comes up. So that is the most natural way for you to breathe. It's your natural breathing pattern, the way that children and babies breathe, and you'll see it. So practice that. If you want to use your hand, you can. If you also want to be aware of the difference in the pelvic floor sensation here, that's a good opportunity. And just see if you can breathe and release some tension in that pelvic floor. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out, pelvic floor comes up naturally. Very subtle, very subtle. Breathing in, pelvic floor comes down. Then it feels like the tension. Rest. Good. Two, three more. Closing eyes if it feels good. And softening in that space with your breath. I hope so much that you've managed to just feel a little bit calmer from those cycles of breath. We did approximately 5 on the floor, and then I did another 5, just really working on concentrating on witnessing the breath. And then I've done 5 with you seated so that you can become more aware of that tension that we often hold in our pelvic floor and our buttocks, and that can sometimes cause backache, back pain unnecessarily, especially if you're trying to hold your tummy in a lot. And women tend to do that subconsciously, trying to make ourselves smaller at the waist. And as a trainer, as a fitness trainer, I've been teaching for nearly 25 years. I started in 1996 in a gym, and on the gym floor doing consultations, lifestyle consultations, and introducing people into programming in the gym, and teaching relaxation classes. And I was a lot smaller then, a lot lighter, and I think I might have been 59 kilos or something like that. And I had a much smaller waist pre-children, and then as I grew up and naturally weight gained, I felt like I had to keep pulling my tummy muscles in all the time. And then I realised that I couldn't go out, dance, eat, drink without holding myself in such a way to kind of almost hide myself into this shape, and that was causing me a lot of issues and backache. And then I realised that through my Tai Chi practice I held a lot of tension there and anxiety, and almost it was like a body image issue where I wasn't happy with myself unless those muscles were contracted, and that was the way that I would perceive myself as being perfect. And through my practices of meditation, I've realised now that this is the magic of my body, and I don't have to have the position that I had when I was 26. I don't have to have that position anymore there, and the fact that the muscles are whole and solid and working for me naturally every day, and I don't have back pain, I don't have any anxiety about the way it looks, has given me this whole kind of freedom of mind and released me from a lot of anxiety and a lot of pressure. So I hope with that breathing practice you began to soften a little bit into this space and give it a little bit of TLC, a bit of attention. That brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for persevering with my odd setup today. If you're watching a replay, amazing that you've come along and watched it on replay. We're getting a lot of viewers on replay, and we really appreciate you coming back time and time again to view our work, to listen to what we have to tell you, to share in the journey, the postnatal journey. And we're very grateful to have this platform. So from me at Babi Actif, this is Natasha. I will see you perhaps in a live session face-to-face somewhere in North Wales. We have a few of those going on. I think I'm at Post Natal on Friday at 10:30. I may see some of you there. Otherwise, I'll see you next week for a session live here or on a replay some other time, 10:30 on a Tuesday. I wish you a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.